The Club Legends Cup. You remember the old Masters football tournament that used to be on TV on Sky a few years ago, featuring former football legends. And it was always good to see what kind of shape they were in later life. Well, this July, the Club Legends Cup. And it's officially being launched today in the BBC WM open space area. We'll be talking to some of the stars taking part on the show after 5. But Richie Anderson is in the open space area to do the official launching. Who else? Richie.
Well, frankly, I wouldn't say I'm doing the official launch, but we've got some of the stars here. And you mentioned the shape they're in. Darren Purse off of Birmingham City. Looking all right there, flexing his muscles. Jody Craddock's here as well. And if the event is anything like last year's, then the atmosphere is going to be absolutely fantastic when it comes to the Barclaycard Arena. Thousands of people are going to be there as they were last year. And the main thing is the event, other than Birmingham City winning, as Darren Purse is miming to me, the main thing is that the event last year raised over £50,000. And that is what it's all about. And David Busst is with me now because it is the wider Midlands who are taking part in this event. Obviously, we've got our local teams, but then Coventry are involved, Forest, Derby. So David Busst, of course, from Coventry City is here. So, David, how was it last year? Is it really competitive between you all, or is it friendly banter?
I haven't forgiven Darren yet because technically we lost on penalties to them, and so we, for me, we should have had one hand on the trophy as well because they didn't actually beat us, But I'm not bitter about it, and this year we'll certainly.
Doesn't sound it.
No, as you mentioned, the fact that there's over 3,000 people there to watch and raising great money for a great cause, and us players were just humble to be invited, and but we're always going to be competitive. It's in our nature, and as soon as you cross that white line, then there's no friends in football.
Well, one thing which I think is brilliant about this event is 3 fans who support each team can bid to play on your team. Now, you say it's competitive. Say if you've got fans on your team who are a bit rubbish and you get to the final, do the pros kind of like hatch together a plan how you don't pass to them? And I'm used to that because I get that on a Sunday morning for my team. They kind of set up the tactics so they like bypass me. Do you do that in the final?
Definitely not. If we make them stand out wide right...
So come on then, 1 minute to go, you're 1-0 up, you really want to win this cup, and the rubbish bloke's unmarked at the back post. Do you pass in the ball, David?
I can only go on previous experience where our 3 guys that played for us last year, they were a decent standard, so we were more than happy to pass to them and be inclusive.
Were you wary about that though? Were you thinking, oh God?
In the first game, when you think, what type of player are we have? Is it someone we're going to have to stand up front where he can do least damage? But no, as I say, we were lucky last year, and we had the players that were on there could play a bit and fitted in nicely.
That's all right then, isn't it? Because you don't want rubbish players on your team. You're trying to win this tournament. So who are the players to look out for then?
Definitely all of our players. A few of the blue players, but no, it's each of you're going to have headline players for each of the teams, and obviously they're going to draw the crowds in and that. But all the professionals that take part in all the teams, they give it their own time and that, and they're doing it because they're raising money for acute leukemia.
How good is the atmosphere there?
I'd not played in that sort of an indoor event like that before, and when we first walked in, when the other teams were playing on there, the kids and the ladies team, and then just started to see it fill up and things like that. And you just thought, oh God, this is a big event here. And then I actually got a bit of the nerves and the old butterflies before the games and that, and which is good because it works for me.
David Busst there from Coventry City, who will be playing for Cov again at the Legends Cup. And in the next hour or so, Darren Purse from Birmingham City and Jody Craddock from Wolves. That was a test. We'll be speaking to Franksy live in the studio. Now, there is a serious side to this, the charity side, and James McLaughlin is the chief exec of Cure Leukaemia. So £50,000 was raised last year. What does that buy?
It funds a research nurse for a year, and obviously the purpose of Cure Leukaemia is to fund research nurses. They're the heartbeat of the charity really, and they're obviously the main link for patients, and they're the guys that do the hard work. And our role really, and with the support of some fantastic football support, is to raise as much money to fund as many nurses who can look after the patients.
And do you find you educate people through these events as well? Because people obviously come for the football, but do you get a message across as well?
Yeah, very much so. And last year, we, obviously Jody has been touched by leukemia with his son, and Jody managed to keep 3,500 football fans silent for a couple of minutes while he spoke about what his son had gone through and the experiences of them as a family. And so I think, yeah, 3,500 people to stay silent at a football event is pretty impressive. But it was because they understood the message that Jodie was trying to get across. So yeah, it's very much an education.
And you mentioned there £50,000 for a specialist research nurse. What does that do, a specialist research nurse? Why do we need them?
Well, basically, they need to run the clinical trials for the patients, so they administer the drugs that are going to hopefully keep these patients alive. So the research nurses aren't funded by the NHS. So basically, without these nurses, patients basically have been given no option but to go home and die. And by trying these new pioneering drugs that are going to come out from Birmingham, we are one of the world leading centres. We need the nurses, so you can have all the drugs in the cupboards ready, but without these vital nurses who live and breathe the lives for these patients and their families, all the work on the drug side of life is pretty futile.
Are you going to get your boots on?
I'm not sure I've been called up, and as a Portsmouth fan, I don't think I'm eligible for any of the teams. So
James McLaughlin there, the chief exec of Cure Leukaemia. You're like me, you want to get in the team. Where's David Busst gone from Coventry City? Come back over here. Can we play in your team? Me and James. I'm a striker. Many people have compared me to like Rob Earnshaw, mainly because of the teeth. Yeah. But at the same time, thank you for laughing at that, James. But at the same time, I think I could do a job.
I think, you know, that question you asked me earlier about if the volunteer who comes in and you just stick him up front out the way, I think you could fit into that.
Yeah. David Busst there for Coventry City.
You have to put your hand in your pocket, get the money in.
Yes, you've had enough airtime. Darren Pearce and Jodie Craddock later on will be live in the studio with Frank Sin. That was James McLaughlin, the chief exec of Cure Leukaemia, and it's going to be a fantastic night as well at the Barclaycard Arena.